Hello, everyone. Welcome to the One Day One Topic series, where we look at a topic from a comprehensive perspective. Today, the topic we want to discuss is the right to recall. Right? It's a topic from your polity constitution. So now, what are the things we're going to discuss in right to recall? Firstly, what do you mean by right to recall? Secondly, what were the Constituent Assembly debates, and what are the idea of India and right to recall? Constituent Assembly debates that were there with right to recall. Then coming to the main part of our discussion, that is right to recall, how it can deepen the democracy at an idea level, and what are the challenges associated with the right to recall. Okay, then the way forward, and that's how we'll end the session. Okay, so starting with what do you mean by right to recall? I hope you have all read that. First of all, very basic idea that democracy, two types of basically democracy for a discussion purpose. Democracy one is representative, what we witnessed in India. So we elect our representative. So one is representative democracy and other one is direct democracy. Direct democracy means, for example, the Brexit vote that you have seen, right? The referendums that are there, the initiatives, the referendums, the plebiscites, and the right to recall. These are said to be the four tools of the direct democracy. That means the direct democracy means the power directly lies in the hands of the people, the decision making. While in the representative democracy, the decision making lies in the hands of the representative, and they, as we have elected them, hence they are supposed to represent us in the democracy. That is the idea behind representative democracy. And direct democracy means decision making directly into the hands of the people. So obviously democracy lies on the idea of the lies on the foundation of the idea of right to vote, right? So everyone has right to vote in democracy. That is a given, whether it be representative or direct democracy. But the second idea, that there should be a right to recall as well. Now we have voted someone in power. We have voted someone in power for 5 years in India, for example. But let us assume after 2 years we realize that this person is not worth it, or this person has hidden something from us, or this person is not working well in parliament, or this person is now involved in corruption. The whatever he promised, he is not delivering it. So the right to recall says that it should be the power in hands of the citizen to recall him. That okay, that you come back to the constituency and we'll re-elect another person. Okay, so the recall is the name given to the instrument in which the specified number of citizens can demand a vote of an electorate on whether the elected representative should be removed from the office or not. So the right to recall means they will vote that whether we want him to be there or not, continuing in the office of as an elected representative or not. So it is basically a right to de-elect. Election means vote and de-elect means recall before the expiry of their terms. Very easy to understand. For example, in India, before the expiry of the 5 years of term, we are recalling someone. That no, you are not performed well, then come back to the we do not no longer want you to represent us. So that is recall. What about India and right to recall? So we have some historical basis for that as well. For example, concept of Raj Dharma. It was said that if you cannot provide the effective governance, then the king can be removed on those grounds. So if the king cannot provide the effective governance, then it was a cause of the removal. M.N. Roy also talked about M.N. Roy, who proposed the idea of the Constituent Assembly in 1934. Again in 1944, he pitched the idea for a decentralized and a devolved governance, that is more or so a deep your direct democracy idea, right? And he said that along with the right to vote, there should be a right to recall as well. However, we did not provide any right to recall in our normal general election or state election. There is no right to recall. However, in some of the local level, at the local level bodies, right to recall exist. MP, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, but at a very microscopic level it exists. Okay, so this is the situation of right to recall in India. So we have some historical basis. There are freedom fighters who said that there should be right to recall, and in at the current juncture at the local level bodies there exist right to recall in some MP, Bihar and Chhattisgarh. What about the Constituent Assembly debates? In the Constituent Assembly debates, there were few people such as Lakshmi Narayan Sahu, who was said to be a very fierce debater and in the Constituent Assembly. He said that there should be a right to recall. Plus, H.V. Kamath was also there. He also said that there should be a right to recall. However, the argument from the people side, those who were heading the major committees, they said, for example, Sardar Patel said that he said that the right to recall, that the motion was raised by Mr. Sahu of right to recall, but he said that rather than having some mechanism to recall him back, he believed rather on the ethical and the moral agency of the person. He said if the elected person feels that he has lost the confidence of the Constituent Assembly of his constituency, for example, he is elected from Tiruvananthapuram or he is elected from Lok Sabha or Lucknow, if he feels that he no longer represents the people there, then he must resign on his own. So a wise member, he says, always keeps his finger on the pulse of the constituency. And instead of putting such provisions, we should try to develop a healthy sense of responsibility and a sense of honor in the member. So what Sardar Patel relied on? He relied upon the good moral agency of the person who is getting elected, rather than putting a mechanism in the constitution so as to make sure that we have such sort of mechanism, isn't it? So you can counter that. Then B.R. Ambedkar also said, right? So for example, there was a debate, Constituent Assembly, some people also said that there should be right to recall must accompany the right to elect. However, B.R. Ambedkar did not accept the amendment, right? While the other members who said that right to recall should be there, that they said that political education of the people will be there, it will encourage the voters to think, right? However, some other people argue on, so arguments are both there on the both the sides, right? That recall provision at the infancy of the democracy is not good. At the time of the Constituent Assembly debate, they said, very important line, they felt that the recall would render the constituency a battleground between the candidates and unnecessarily makes them victim of the political rivalry. This is the line you need to make notes of, that the recall would render the constituency a battleground between the candidates and the unnecessary make them a victim of political rivalry. We will see how also. For example, a candidate is elected, for example, X candidate, Mr. X is, or Miss X is elected to from a particular place, let's say from Lucknow. Now 5 years she is in the office. She is supposed to be in the office. But Mr. X opponent was Mr. Y in the election, who lost the election. But for the coming 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, every time Mr. Y will look for the political rivalry to unfold, because he wants Mr. X to be recalled and him to be elected, especially when the election between X and Y were very close. For example, whenever the first time election happened, X and Y finished very close, but X went one step ahead because we follow the first past the post system. So Mr. X won, but Mr. Y will always look for the taking Mr. X down, because the right to recall exists. So as we have seen, the arguments lies on both the sides, that it will deepen the democracy, and also some people say no, there are still a lot of challenges to be addressed for the right to recall. For example, what arguments can be given that it can deepen the democracy? Think about it. Before giving the answer, let us ponder over it. For example, for voters, there will be a lot of benefits. Why? As we have discussed one point, that it will lead to their political education, right? It will lead to their political education for voters. What about the elected representatives? Elected representatives as well, they will also feel that they need to be responsive, they need to be efficient, they need to have the pulse on the constituency, right? Then those people who are morally skewed, for example, this criminalization of politics, these tendencies that are witnessing today, so the people will feel the risk of the recall, because there will be a risk of recall, that we can be recalled as well. So they will spend less money because they can be recalled after all. So it will reduce the money power, muscle power, and all these things. Money power, muscle power in the election. So these are the positives. For example, parliament, if these people go into the parliament, they will represent the issues of their local issues. Why? Because the people are watching what their representatives are doing in the parliament. Because now the people have the power to recall. If they didn't have the power to recall, then that's not an issue. Then they also don't care. When the people know, when the power is there in the hands of the people, people are wielding the power to recall, then then they will also be watching the parliament. They will be also watching their candidates each and every time. So this will create a fear in the mind of the representative as well, isn't it? And these are the advantages of the right to recall. Let us see the points one by one. So I have divided the points in terms of the stakeholders. For example, for voter and citizen, what are the advantages? Let us see point to one by one. First point says that it is very logical that if an elected person does not enjoy the confidence, he needs to be recalled. For example, he enjoyed the confidence in 2015 and he's supposed to be in the office till 2020. But in between, that person has done something that he does not enjoy the confidence, then he should be recalled. There should be an option in the hands of the people. Then second option means it can be a means to then continuous accountability, not the periodic accountability. Periodic accountability means once in 5 years he will come for election again. He will give the that why I have done this, I have done that. But there should be continuous accountability. There should not be an episodic accountability. There should not be periodic accountability that once in 5 years you are coming. No, every step of the way you should be accountable. Then next means to counter the voter apathy and citizen indifference, as we have discussed earlier. Because the citizens will be watching, because now they wield the power to bring them back. So it will help them to counter the voter apathy and citizen indifference. Then the citizens can become truly sovereign, which is the people of India, when the right of vote will be combined with the right to remove as well. When we have the power to elect someone, we should always also have the power to take someone out as well. Then the people can be truly sovereign. Next is making the elected representation more responsive. Now these people, those who are elected, they will make more fair visit, because they know they have to make sure that they don't want to be recalled. So it will make them responsive. They will keep a check on the pulse of the constituency, as we have discussed. Right? Sardar Patel also says, check on the corruption. Truly a representative democracy it will create. Right? In direct democracy, to fine hai, it's fine, the direct democracy, but it will also create a truly an independent representative democracy. Then reforming the elections and the democratic institutions, it will create more realistic electoral promises. Right? When they'll make a promise in the election, they will, for example, I want to be elected, I make some XYZ promise, but I know these promises cannot happen. I just promised them and I got elected. Now I have the job for 5 years, but when I know that my job can be taken in between, I can be recalled, so I'll make the promises which are more realistic in nature. So some realistic electoral promises will be made. Risk of recall, as we have discussed, the morally skewed candidates will weigh the options, that whether they should go for the spending a lot of money into the election, because it is not a one time affair कि एक बार बस enter कर गए, once we enter and then we get into it. No, this should not be like that. It will reduce the tendency of the criminalization of politics, Then parliament can be more responsive and efficient, as we have discussed, because now in the parliament more actual issues, the real issues that will be discussed. The MPs will have the regular visit, then also they will also have an idea what is happening in their constituency, and they will raise their issues in the constituency as well. So these are the idea of these are the reasons why right to recall can deepen the democracy. Then if we talk about the challenges to the right to recall, what challenges it can represent. So what options we have? For example, what can be the challenges? Let us see. For example, the experiences that we have gained from this local elections. Now let us see very practical example. Now, for example, there was a local issue, let's say farm bills, right? Now, on the farm bills, for example, an MP supports farm bills, but maybe his constituency is mobilized by some other fault lines and some other political party, and the people who he represents says, the people say no, this bill is not good. That may not be based upon reason, right? What people can say, okay, now we want to recall this MP, irrespective how this MP has performed over the period of years, irrespective how that MP has represented them, but because of a local and emotive issue, now he is recalled, है ना? तो ये तो अच्छी बात नहीं है. This is not a right thing, because the MPs, why we have elected them as MPs, because they are supposed to work with a big picture in mind. They are not supposed to consider this narrow local interest, right? Hence, they need not to succumb to the political pressures. Other problems, if for example someone is recalled, then again the election has to be sought, then again election costs, again election fatigue, and a lot of problems are there. For example, some cabinet minister, will he be recalled? It will destabilize the economy, democracy, or government. For example, there is a coalition government, then again always there will be pulls and pressure on the coalition government. For example, we have seen in the Maharashtra, state governments as well, state governments, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, MP, how the pulls and pressure work, horse trading, and all these things will be there to for the recall. So all these things will be utilized. So what are the challenges? Let us see one by one. So challenges is seeing with the experiences. So we have seen the experience that they are recalled on the arbitrary grounds. Inclusion of the voters who did not vote first hand, who did not vote for the first time, now they are included into the voting. Now, very important points. So how this voter basically see the performance of their elected representative? Performance is being done by both of them. First, the elected representative, and also there is a bureaucracy, the executive. So are the voter wisdom enough? Are they are aware enough to differentiate between the performance of the elected representative and performance of the bureaucracy? The answer is very tough to understand. Especially in the Indian voters, especially the voters in the rural area, especially when the political literacy is very weak in some of the states, right? So how will they differentiate the work between done by the bureaucracy versus the work done by the elected representative? For example, let us see. So there is a bureaucrat, let's say DM, BDO, SDM, and all these people, and there is an elected representative. You have right to recall to him, but major power lies with these people. These are the people who are doing the work, the executive, the CMs, the PMs. So accountability lies to them as well, but we are giving them the instrument, so the people will be confused. Even if an elected representative is good, but he can be recalled, right? Third, the practical challenges, another election, the cause, the fatigue, the voter turnout can be low, destabilize the government, especially in the parliamentary democracy. Challenges to the elector, as we have discussed, that succumb to the populist pressure, recall on the local and the emotive issue. What about the cabinet ministers? Then we also have good choices. We also have other alternatives, such as electoral reforms are still pending. So instead of doing so, we are now trying to figure out another instrument to reform the democracy or deepen the democracy. Why? When we have the good instruments in hand, when we know that these are the pending agendas, electoral reform, citizen charter, right to service delivery, social audit, RTI. So we have to strengthen and empower the existing situation, and we have to employ these electoral reforms. So these are a far better way to deepen the democracy than to introduce right to recall that comes up with a lots and lots of the practical challenges. At a theoretical level, it seems fine. So way forward, one can write that at a theoretical level, it seems to make sense, right? It makes sense. But at the practical level, it does not make sense, especially in the diverse country such as India. Diverse country, plus still a lot of voters are not very informed, lack of informed voting. So information is less when they are driven a lot by other circumstances, not by their political education, but by let's say muscle, money, uh, sometimes alcohol, right? The some freebies. When they're driven by these factors, then it becomes difficult for us to promote this. Even if right to recall is there, then there has to be a lot of safeguards to be built in. For example, the small margins not to be seen, right? At least 2 years should be given in the office, and these are the small safeguard. But obviously the current situation the India is in, the better position is to go for the electoral reform, right? Reduce this criminalization of politics, partial funding of the election. We'll discuss some issue on the electoral reform in some other video. So partial funding of election, and these are the other points we can mention, that these are the points that should be there. Okay, so this can be the way forward. Right to recall may not be suitable at this current juncture in India. So with this we finish our one day one topic, that is right to recall, and I'll see you in the next class, everyone. Bye bye for now. Thank you.